Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week. No, this is for October 2025. You have this Lay a Solid Foundation card and this Clear Out the Clutter card. Excellent time for Capricorn to clear out clutter in your life, for sure. I think that, simplification energy is very good for Capricorn this year, 2025, and also next year as well. And, if you have a clean environment, meaning that you don't have to think about the dishes or, anything like that, then your brain is literally probably going to work better. So, I would definitely say clearing out the clutter is a good idea because it'll give you less to think about. You need your brain for your ideas right now, Capricorn, and again, anything you can do to eliminate clutter. Now, we can also have other forms of clutter, right? Like people who are distracting situations, things that distract us, could be anything. And again, I think that clearing out the clutter card is also saying that it would be a good time for you to kind of, eliminate those situations as well. And yeah, I just think it would be very, very good for you, Capricorn, in general, right? You start here in your current general energies with the Hangman, the Ace of Cups, and the Lovers. All year you've been getting love, and so there definitely could be love coming in for you. The Hangman would say that maybe you've changed your perspective on love, or you're looking at it from a different, perspective, just a different angle in your life. That could mean pretty much anything. Some of you definitely could have love. Some of you maybe have decided that your environment needs to be clear from love, right? So I don't know, you're all different, but the Hangman is about being enlightened. His head is glowing on this card, so he has gained answers on what he needs to do. And if you don't want love, and even if you do, it is an excellent time for you earth signs to really be focusing on doing more of what you love. So if you don't want love, then that's what this reading is talking about. Even if you do want love, again, this reading is saying you need to do more of what you love, because that also goes into your environment, the energy that is around you, right? When you think about it, they say that frogs are like the first to die when an environment is going to shit, more or less, right? So, that frog spirit, it basically says we have to look at environmental indicators in our life, like what is slowing you down, what is speeding you up, what is making your life worse, what is making your life better. And I would be kind of really doubling down on those things. You have the Ace of Cups, again, definitely could be a love offer. You have the Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, Lovers showing up in this reading. So if you want love, then it exists. The Ace of Cups is about doing those things that you can do endlessly. This cup is overflowing, but it can easily reach down into the water below it and fill itself back up. So the Ace of Cups is really a card of fulfillment, and it's really a card of doing more of the things that fulfill you in your life. And again, you're all different, so whatever it is you do that brings in more fulfillment is going to be very beneficial, in work and business and all sorts of stuff, right? And this is something that I really would work on if I were you. I would be doing more hobbies, more interests, less work. And I know that sounds crazy to you, Capricorn, because you're a Capricorn, but I would be thinking about how you can have more fun as well. You have the Lovers, so definitely could be love. There is definitely a change coming to your love life if you want it. We go up to the Death card, which is definitely a change. So, love could be entering into your life. The Death card can also say that changes have to happen if you are going to allow love into your life, obviously. If you're inviting a person into your life, it's going to change things, right? And so definitely something to think about with the Lovers. I also feel, I do feel very good about this Lovers card. Right next to it, you have the Eight of Wands. So, if you're hoping for communication and love, blah, 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 there definitely could be communication and love. But I also feel if you are trying to make any decision in your life, period, about anything, then I do feel some of you are going to be kind of getting the answers you need to make a decision this month. So if you've been unsure or uncertain about where you're going, what you're doing, that Eight of Wands could say that you are getting a direction to move in, which is good. It's like you know where you're going this month, right? With the Hangman, you have the Two of Cups. So you start and end with the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is usually someone who is different than your usual type, so you definitely could be attracting someone who's different than your usual type, someone who comes from a different world, someone who is different. Two of Cups usually starts as communication as well. You have the Staff of Hermes here, which is Mercury, and so a lot of you, this could start with communication and then kind of go from there. You have the Eight of Wands, so it makes perfect sense that this would be something that like starts with communication. There could be like a little bit of a power dynamic here. I don't know. It's popping into my head. The lion here can represent the ego in the Two of Cups. It can be bad for sure. If you attract a person who has an imbalanced ego or someone who has too much ego. But in this reading looks really good. Number one. But number two, it can kind of say that there might be something. It's like, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm talking about, Capricorn, so whatever. But, I feel like there could be some sort of power dynamic, or it's like, I don't know, you could be meeting someone who challenges you or something like that, which I don't know. Is that really a bad thing for Capricorn? Probably not. I think Capricorn likes a challenge. So, again, I'm not talking about a bad challenge either. I feel it could be a person who challenges you in a good way. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this has been slow. Some of you already know who I'm talking about for sure. So again, if you've already been socializing with a person or talking to a person, Eight of Wands would kind of say that you've already socialized with a person in some way. Whether it's like a friend or you've met this person through a friend group or you met this person in public or something like that, or you work with this person, and I feel like it's been very slow up until this point. That could be changing in October. So if that story makes sense to you, then there you go. I also feel like that you're getting a better result here. And this is a completely different message, Capricorn, but let me give you an example. Like if you normally start things like a business and maybe your story all along is that you only make like $100, right? It's like, I think you're making 1,000 at the start, right? It's like I feel like that Eight of Wands is something like, is it perfect? No. Again, I wouldn't get too excited about this, but I also feel we were talking about making a choice or picking a direction. If you have like multiple ideas right now, it's like the Eight of Wands plus this Knight of Pentacles is saying to me that something is going to happen that is going to make the decision very clear. And I'm not saying it has to be money, but it's like, let's say you're trying to pick between two projects or two things to work on. It's like, I think the month of October, there's going to be something that happens that's like this direction. It's like you're getting an answer on the direction you should move in. With the Lovers, you have the Five Wands. I think this has come up for you before, that there could be competition for a person, or you think there's competition for a person. You have the Six of Wands, which would literally represent winning the competition. So I don't know if you're like worried about competition with a person, or maybe you're worried that they have too many people or whatever. This to me looks like you are winning the competition. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Naked in Public card. It says vulnerability, shame, and unprepared. There you go. You have this Running card. It says vitality, striving, urgency, and avoiding. So, again, some of you might be fearing being vulnerable in a connection. So, that could be something to work on if you want love. Again, I feel like you are running in a good way. I'm not talking about running away from a connection. I feel with that, Eight of Wands is quick success, quick movement. And again, if you're getting an answer on the direction that you should be moving in your life, I feel that you are kind of like taking off here, which is good. You have the Eight of Swords, Six of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Swords can represent only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. Again, not even worried about it. I feel like, yes, maybe you have been a little bit stuck, but I feel really this is a good reading, and I feel like you're getting unstuck from the Eight of Swords. I feel this is a decision that you've been having a hard time making. But again, Hangman, Eight of Wands, these are cards of getting answers, being enlightened to the direction that you need to move in. So, like I said, I'm not even worried about the Eight of Swords. Again, if you want love, maybe that you should, this card says vulnerability, shame, and unprepared. It's like we're never really ready for something that we want. So maybe, if I was being super picky about the reading, the Eight of Swords could say you're never going to be ready. So it's like you might as well do it now. You have the Six of Wands. I would encourage you to enter into any competitions that you can this month. Like, maybe there's a competition for a position at work. Maybe not literally, but, maybe there's a position opening up in your business or career. Like, I would apply for it if you want to, right? If there are literal competitions that you could enter, I would enter those competitions. I think you could win with the Six of Wands and the Five of Wands showing up like this. If it's love, same thing. I would enter into the competition because I think you will be the chosen one. You are the chosen one. That's what I'm going to say here, Capricorn, this month. And, I would make those moves. Six of Wands can be great for standing out in general. Sometimes, I feel like we need to put a little bit of lighter fluid on these Wands cards. We need to build the fire more. So if you are trying to get a raise or promotion, Six of Wands says, brag, talk about yourself, tell people how great you are. Now is the month to do that, right? Same thing in business. If you have business or a career or something like that, it's now would be the time to talk more about it. And now would be the time to share it and get it out there in the world and, to tell people what you do. I feel that, again, that is the lighter fluid that you are putting on this fire. You have the Eight of Wands. Again, I love this card with that running card. I feel like you are off to the races here, Capricorn. Really, this could be a quick month for you where you're making a lot of progress. And so I do like to see that. Now, nothing is going to happen. I always say this, nothing is going to happen if you don't do anything. So, make sure when you get a direction, if you get that little clue from the universe, if things work out just a little bit better than they normally do in a direction, that is your direction. Pick it, commit to it, make it happen. Pour lighter fluid on it, do more, right? And I feel if you do that, that's where the speed is going to come from. Eight of Wands represents things happening quickly, things happening fast in your life. But nothing just happens. We have to pour the lighter fluid on it to make it happen. And so I would do that. Eight of Wands is also about kind of the direction of your thoughts. Now, we have a lot of stuff here that would represent your environment, which we were talking about at the beginning of the reading with that frog spirit. But the Empress is also a card of your environment. She is creating a luxury environment for herself as much as she can. So she's putting herself in the best possible energy. The Eight of Wands, all those wands are pointing in one direction. It's if there's something we want, we have to become that thing before we can get it. Eight of Wands says point in that direction. No, life isn't perfect, and maybe you can't live in luxury right this second, but you can do things to make your environment a little bit better. And I do feel there's a part of this reading that is really talking about, setting yourself up for success, right? Creating the environment of success. And that's exactly what I would do there. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, like I said, I feel like you're making progress. I almost feel like the Eight of Swords is saying you're getting unstuck. Normally it would be a very stuck card, but with everything else going on in this reading, it's you're setting yourself free. He is picking a direction. He's giving to this person, not this person, right? So he's giving to things that maybe improve his environment or improve his situation. He's not feeding this side over here. So, again, very simple reading in the first part of this reading that is saying you need to give to the things that you want to see. With the Six of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, are you kidding? I always say this. This reading is saying you need to light the fire. Ace of Wands is just a spark. It's my favorite card in the tarot. The reason being, it's that spark of hope, that spark of inspiration that we need to get started on something, but it's only a spark. You have to keep putting wood and lighter fluid on the fire. There is some sort of fire that you are building here in your life. It's a desire to do something. It could be your excitement on a new project or whatever you're working on, but really that seems to be the main focus of the first two rows, is that you should be doing things that feed it, right? And you should be proving to yourself that it works as well. And maybe that's the other thing that the reading is trying to say, is that you should collect proof, which I think people forget about this, that it's a really good activity to collect proof that what you're doing is working, right? Because then you're going to do it more. And I feel that's what this is saying. With the Eight of Wands, what do you know? You have the Eight of Swords again. So there's definitely something you're setting yourself free from that has been keeping you stuck. Kind of feels a little bit like overthinking to me here, Capricorn, with that Eight of Swords. So if you've been overthinking something, or I don't know what you're doing, but it seems to me like you're setting yourself free. Next, in the area of your messages from your future self, you have this viewpoints card and this force card. Yeah, the viewpoints card is like the hangman. It's saying that you are getting different points of view. We all are. It's kind of impossible right now not to see things from all perspectives, because we have Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini, it will retrograde into Taurus in November, but right now it's in Gemini, and it will probably be making us, just look at things differently, everything in life. And this force card, again, I think you are becoming like a force in nature here. It's like you're controlling fire this month, Capricorn, and I would keep doing that. You have the Death card, the High Priestess, and the Empress. I do feel like the Death card is your future self saying, get ready for a big change. Get ready for a major change in your life. And, prepare for it because you're about to be off to the races here and, progressing towards something very, very quickly. Again, I think I've said this to you before, Capricorn. It's like sometimes I think a reading can say a change is happening quickly, but really this has taken, 20 years. It's taken a long time in your life where you've been prepared for it, you've been working on things, you've been working on yourself, and maybe it seems like the change is happening quickly, but really it's taking you a long time. The reason I always point this out whenever it pops up in my head in readings is because I think we need to give ourselves credit, right? It's like we shouldn't be saying things to ourselves like, we shouldn't necessarily say, oh, I got lucky. It's like, no, you did 20 years of work to get to this point. It took a long time, right? And so I think we have to kind of pat ourselves on the back. And, I feel this card is kind of saying that as well. The other thing is that we have the two pillars from the moon showing up right here, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. Sometimes I think the Death card can represent kind of stepping into light or getting clarity, and it can say that you've maybe been in a confusing time, or maybe things haven't been clear and now you're getting answers. You have the High Priestess. High Priestess is about trusting your intuition. We are in a very intuitive time. We will have Neptune go retrograde into Pisces as well soon, and middle of October. And so it's retrograde right now in Aries, but when it crosses over into Pisces, it'll be very intuitive time. Neptune retrograde isn't like Mercury retrograde. It can make our intuition more. It can make us need to listen to the messages that we're receiving more. And that's kind of what I get with the High Priestess is that, don't discredit your gut instincts, your intuitiveness, what you feel you should do intuitively. I feel like you're getting a lot of ideas, but like ideas from the universe about what to do in your life, but you have to follow through on those ideas with this card. You have the Empress. The Empress is, of course, abundance. It says that you're very attractive at this time, Capricorn, so if you're looking for love, I would definitely get out there. The Empress, she also does things easily. All she has to do is wave that scepter in front of her, and the wheat in front of her will grow. As a person who has a million planets in Capricorn myself, I can tell you that I think Capricorn can be a little bit overcomplicated, or it can overcomplicate things. So if you're working on a project, do it the simple way, right? Do it the easy way. Allow your life to be easy, and allow for ease is what I feel like this is saying. And, it's like maybe because your past 20 years has been a struggle, it can be a little bit of a struggle to believe that things can be easy, but I feel like you need to believe it. With the Death card, you have the Four Cups here. The Four Cups is like the fear of disappointment sometimes. He has tried to do something like 3 times before, and now he's not accepting this 4th cup because he's been disappointed before. But I kind of feel like saying the grass is greener on the other side. The Death card would be a change. And so you might be thinking about making a change or allowing a change in your life, but you might not also be accepting it because you might be thinking the grass won't be greener on the other side. But I do feel like this is one of those situations where the grass is greener on the other side. With the High Priestess, you have the King of Cups. You could be attracting a Pisces or a water sign here. I mean, you have Hangman, High Priestess, both Pisces. Knight of Cups could be just a water sign in general. So I don't know, take it how it resonates. King of Cups is usually, again, I think I look at tarot as a spectrum. And so King of Cups can be bad because, it can be someone who's over-emotional. It can also be a person who comes off as having no emotions as well. But not necessarily a bad thing. King of Cups sometimes, it's the reason they can come off as having no emotions is because they have explored their emotions to such a deep level that they are just very stable emotionally. So it's like this person isn't going to be, crying on your shoulder if you're watching Titanic, So I don't know. It's like, do you really want a person who's crying on your shoulder every 2 seconds anyway? Every day? Probably not. So I don't know. I think you're just attracting like an emotionally stable person here. On a personal level as well, Capricorn, for you is what I'm saying. We have this boat behind him, and the boat can represent traveling into the unknown. I do feel it would be a really good time for you to be open to exploring like new ideas, new directions, learning new things. All that would be good for you. With the Empress, you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, it's like I feel that maybe a little bit of the energy of this reading is you needing to believe that something can happen. You know, he needs to turn around and see these 2 cups, then he gets the bridge and the castle. You have that 4 cups as well. It's kind of like, you know, I call readings like this Tinkerbell readings, because it's like if you don't believe, she doesn't exist, right? It's like if you don't believe that you can have something good, then that's true, right? It's not going to exist. But if you do believe that something good can happen, then it probably will happen. And, you know, that's definitely the energy I get here. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this boundaries card and this beginnings card. Yes, if you are getting into a new connection, you know, it's coming up in the good stuff, but having healthy boundaries, of course, is always a good thing. And there definitely is a new beginning. It's the new beginning. Is it really a new beginning, though, Capricorn? I would say that it's a new approach. Really, that's the energy I get here. As in, it's like maybe you've had the same career for 20 years, right? And you're picking a new direction. It's like maybe you're not doing something completely different, but you're maybe, you know, I think what's important here is that your approach is different. You're making things more simple, hopefully, with the Empress. You're doing things in a more efficient way. With the Six of Wands as well, it's like you could be doing things so that you have a bigger impact. You could be doing things to stand out more so you can get a raise or a promotion. So really, I think the new beginning is really a new approach. You have the Two of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about it. Definitely could be a new connection. Two of Cups with the High Priestess is also you and your higher self. So, you know, again, it would be a good time for you to listen to your dreams, your daydreams, your you know, your intuitions. It would be a good time to listen to your higher self. You have the Three of Swords. Yeah, you could be healing your heart. This seems to be a big theme for Capricorn, like you're healing your old love story. You know, even if you don't want love, doesn't matter, right? It's like, you know, even if you're over it, it's like you could still be working on healing your heart, which would be a good thing with the Three of Swords in the good stuff. You have the Knight of Cups. Definitely could be a knight in shining armor. So if you're looking for love, there definitely could be love coming in for you with the Knight of Cups. And, you know, this could be a person who sweeps you off your feet, if that's what you're into. Knight of Cups is also your dream. And, you know, again, we've spent so much time talking about your environment. You know, the Empress can kind of be a little bit of creating heaven on earth. And so this could be like part of your dream in your life that would make your life better. And I do feel it's encouraging you to like create heaven on earth, or to do something that could help you create heaven on earth, right? With the Two of Cups, you have the Magician. The Magician, this would say you asked for something or you have manifested something right here. So if you have been asked, and it doesn't even have to be love, it could be whatever. It could be multiple things as well. But I almost get more like wish energy. I always pull the card he's pointing to. It's this one right here. Yeah, you have this card that says embrace uncertainty. The whole freaking reading basically says this. King of Cups. He has that boat behind him. Again, that boat behind him literally represents embracing uncertainty, stepping into the unknown. And so Four Cups as well, right? He doesn't know if the grass is greener on the other side. The Death card, right? The 2 pillars from the moon. So I feel like the whole entire reading is saying there's something you want, but you have to like get started to get it, or you have to do something that maybe is unknown. You know, 5 of Wands, you could be thinking there's competition here. Could be in love, could be in business, could be whatever. But it's like that's really where success is, on the other side of the card there. With the Three of Swords, yes, Queen of Pentacles, you healing your heart, literally. There's really nothing to add here, because I just feel like you're healing your heart, whether you want love or not. Sure, we'll take both. You have, with the Knight of Cups, really amazing, you have the World and the Ten of Pentacles. The World is you showing up here. So the World can represent an accomplishment, achievement. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. It's, the tree of life. So, it's funny that I said heaven on earth with that Empress. I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight or it's going to magically happen, but I feel you're working towards this. You start with that card that says lay a solid foundation, and I consider the Ten of Pentacles to be a foundational energy. We have to build on a solid foundation with the Ten of Pentacles to get the Ten of Pentacles, and a lot of you are probably doing that right here with those 2 cards, so that's amazing. And the Ten of Pentacles is a really good love card as well. It can, represent basically having it all. You have this Dolphin card. It says financial, here you go. It says financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. I would change this from a new perspective. It's like, if you have a business, it's like you're making things easier, and that's where the financial gain is coming from. I also think that a lot of you, it's like you could be adding up the past 20 years of your life. It's all those things that you learned are like coming to a point, and that could be where the financial gain is coming from. You have this bread card. It says period of prosperity and abundance. You're getting your bread here, Capricorn. And so they're very good money month for you. Again, nothing is going to magically happen. I think the secret sauce for you this month is going to be to, take whatever you do for work or business. Either you need to stand out and get a raise or promotion, you need to do something to get more attention on your business, or the perspective on the business needs to change. As in, it's like, maybe it's not as successful as it could be because you overcomplicate things. It's like maybe you need to go for the simple thing, and that's what will work. You have this torch card that says spiritual development, enlightenment, hangman, awareness, and understanding. Yeah, we already talked about it. It is a very spiritual month for you here. So hangman, high priestess, two of cups, talking to your higher self, right? Doing those things could be very helpful. You have this crib. It says birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. Yes, anything new. You have that card that said beginnings on it. Anything new that you want to birth, I would go for it. You have this forest. It says muddled, unclear thinking. Yes, the Eight of Swords. I feel you know what to do, but maybe you're, kind of like making it confusing here. I feel like what Capricorn, I'm pretty sure I've said this to you before, Capricorn. Another little secret sauce for you is that I feel that you are overestimating the requirements, right? And anything that you're wanting to start. It's like you're putting the requirements up here when they're probably down here. So, I think, I don't know if that helps or not, hopefully, but, that's something I would think about. So this looks pretty good, Capricorn. I like it. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, really helps me out, and definitely enjoy your month.